everyone and welcome to Module 9, European Legal Framework on EDI in Employment. Today we will be looking at the social and economic importance of the EU directives. The aim of this presentation is to introduce you to the social and economic importance of EU directives in the management of workplace (EDI). At the end of this presentation you will be able to identify the key European directives that inform EDI workplace practice. Starting off, we will begin by looking at an overview of the social and economic importance of EU directives. Next, we will look at some of the social impacts of EU directives, including gender equality in climate action and gender equality in supporting corporate social responsibility. Then, we'll look at some of the economic impacts, focusing on areas like workforce participation and competitiveness, reducing the gender pay gap, mitigating skills shortages, and promoting sustainable development. Social and economic importance of EU EDI directives. The EU EDI directives are pivotal in shaping a more just and inclusive society. They aim to combat discrimination and promote equal opportunities for all, regardless of gender, race, disability, age, religion, or sexual orientation. They extend to the protection of fundamental human rights, ensuring that marginalized and vulnerable groups are not left behind, while promoting social justice and economic stability across member states. The EU EDI directives foster an inclusive environment, enhancing social cohesion, reducing inequalities, and supporting the fundamental rights of its workers and citizens. The directives provide a framework for employers to establish fair, transparent, and non-discriminatory policies and practices, helping to ensure equity and respect in workplace procedures and decision-making. Gender equality in climate action. Accelerated climate action. Increased gender diversity on boards correlates with better environmental management. Companies in the top quartile for female representation have an environmental rating 36% higher than those in the bottom quartile. Companies with gender-diverse boards are 60% more likely to reduce energy consumption and 39% more likely to cut greenhouse gas emissions. This shows that diverse perspectives lead to more effective strategies in addressing climate change. Gender equality supporting corporate social responsibility. Industries like construction, mining, oil and gas, and chemicals involve high-risk jobs where workers face dangerous conditions, with Europe seeing over 40% of annual fatal accidents from these sectors. Corporate social responsibility now covers a wide range of issues, including labor rights, occupational safety, gender equality, and the impact on local communities. Research suggests a positive correlation between gender diversity on corporate boards and companies' social responsibility performance. Companies in the top quartile, with the highest percentage of women on boards, score 74% higher in social responsibility than those in the bottom quartile. Economic importance of EU EDI directives to working lives. The directives play a critical role in shaping modern working lives by fostering a more dynamic and competitive labor market. By maximizing the potential of a diverse workforce, these directives encourage innovation and drive economic growth. For instance, research has shown that companies with more diverse teams, such as those with greater gender or ethnic diversity, tend to outperform their peers in terms of innovation and profitability. They also contribute to creating a fairer society where everyone can contribute to and benefit from economic opportunities. Ultimately, these directives are key to realizing the EU's vision of a united, prosperous, and equitable society, promoting long-term social and economic progress for all. Economic importance of EU EDI directives. Gender equality is a core principle of international law and central to the European Union's legal frameworks. The EU has enshrined gender equality in treaties and legislation. Studies have shown that gender equality is associated with faster economic development, higher income per capita, more efficient and effective businesses, climate action and sustainable management of natural resources, peace building, and more prosperous societies. According to recent European research, closing the gender gaps in the EU would create as many new jobs as there are in a mid-sized European country. In 2050, the EU employment rate would reach almost 80% if there are substantial gender equality improvements. However, at the current rate of progress, it would take 169 years to close the gender gap in economic participation and opportunity, according to the World Economic Forum. Economic importance of EU EDI directives. Boosts workforce participation. Gender equality directives encourage more women to enter and remain in the workforce, increasing overall labor market participation and economic productivity. Research from the International Monetary Fund suggests that narrowing the gender gap in labor markets could increase GDP in emerging markets and developing economies by almost 8%. Boosting competitiveness. Promoting gender equality helps to fully leverage the skills and talents of the entire population, driving innovation and business competitiveness. According to the European Institute for Gender Equality, improved gender equality could boost the long-term competitiveness of the EU economy. Gender equality measures could enhance the economy's productive capacity and reduce prices. This would enable the EU to produce more goods and services domestically and boost its competitiveness in international markets. Reduces gender pay gap. By addressing wage disparities, these directives ensure fairer compensation, leading to greater economic security for women and reduced income inequality. The Pay Transparency Directive helps close the gender pay gap by requiring companies to share salary ranges and report on pay disparities. This transparency empowers employees to negotiate their salaries and holds employers accountable for fair pay. It encourages companies to review their pay practices and promotes a culture of fairness, ultimately supporting gender equality in the workplace. Mitigate skills shortages. By encouraging equal opportunities in all sectors, these directives help to alleviate labor shortages in traditionally male-dominated industries. In the technology sector, many companies face significant skills shortages due to a lack of qualified candidates. According to recent research, women make up 52% of the European population, yet only account for 2 out of 5 scientists and engineers, and only 18% of Europe's information and communications technology (ICT) professionals are women. By implementing gender equality initiatives like mentorship programs and targeted recruitment, organizations can attract and keep more women in the workforce. For example, a tech company that offers flexible work options and showcases female role models can encourage more women to pursue careers in STEM fields. Promote sustainable development. Gender equality contributes to a more balanced and sustainable economic development, aligning with broader EU goals for social and economic progress. The employment rate in the EU will make a substantial leap if there are more equal opportunities in STEM education and the labour market. By 2030, this could raise the employment rate by 0.5 to 0.8 percentage points, and by 2050, it could increase by 2.1 to 3.5 percentage points, potentially reaching nearly 80%, as depicted in the graph. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Here is a list of the key points we covered today. EU EDI directives aim to combat discrimination and promote equal opportunities for all, regardless of gender, race, disability, age, religion, or sexual orientation. The social impacts of these directives promotes inclusivity and equal opportunities, while also enhancing social cohesion and driving progress in areas such as climate action and corporate social responsibility. The economic impact of the directives include increased workforce participation and competitiveness, reducing the gender pay gap, contributing to mitigating skills shortages and promoting sustainable development. Here you can see a list of the references used throughout the presentation. These sources will assist you in researching more deeply into European equality, diversity and inclusion directives. Thank you for listening. I hope this presentation has provided you with a deeper understanding of European directives and how they impact us in our working lives.